Y'all know who that was. That was Kirk Franklin with Stomp. Hey, it's your girl Mary. I'm here for another show of I Am a Survivor. First, I want to encourage all you survivors out there to just keep your spirits up, stay healthy, be encouraged, and to hold on to whatever it is that you need to make your faith work for you. It's 2013. Things are getting ready to change, ladies. I know it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't move like it or whatever. But I want you to know, stay encouraged. Don't you give up. Because if you give up, another sister's not going to be able to get the help. So we have to come together, ladies. Again, like I said on last week's show, let's pull it together. Let's get together. Let's let the government, the community, services know who women survivors of homicide are, and that we need things, and that they must take care of those things that we need. Amen? So let's pull this thing together, ladies. Be encouraged. Love yourselves. And I hope today that your day was just wonderful, that it was filled with joy, that it was filled with peace and happiness, because ladies, you deserve it. Let's get right to the show. Today I want to talk about two incidents that happened here in Massachusetts. There was a 13-year-old young man who was going to church choir, walking up the street, and a car pulled up and just emptied a gun. The young 13-year-old young man got shot, rushed to the hospital. Thank God. He was on the critical list, but thank God he is okay. They said he's going to be okay, and that is so wonderful. But it's also so sad. 13, on his way to choir rehearsal. How in the world do you do something like this? Really, it didn't matter if he was 13, 33, 63. It's ridiculous to be in a car, to drive up on somebody and just start shooting like that. People are losing their friggin' minds. And the thing is that this kid, could you imagine him lying there all by himself, bleeding, and just like, why? What's going on here? Clinging to his life. And going to choir rehearsal. Not that going to church makes you better than anybody or makes you a good person, but my God, he could have been out there selling drugs. He could have been out there selling guns, just doing something negative. But this baby was going to church. The other incident I want to bring up before I sum this all up and bring this together is that the double murder that happened about almost a week ago or 3 or 4 days ago. There was a double murder. Is this crazy? 2 young men, I believe they were in their early 20s, and they were both shot and killed, and just ridiculous. So from what I hear is that they caught the person, the shooter, and that person is being brought up to Massachusetts from a southern state. So, I know it doesn't bring the 2 young men back, but it does give some type of, judgment or ease that this person is not still on the street, able to do this to someone else. What hurted me so bad was that I saw one of the young men's mother. She was on television, talking about her son, talking about what happened. And I felt so bad. I felt so sad, because here's this woman sitting here, saying, I'm never going to see him again. My best friend, he's gone. Why did this happen? And, she was you could just see the shock, because that is the first sign of surviving homicide. You go into a shock. It's somewhat like you don't believe it, or you at the same time you do believe it. There's just confusion, and you're just like all over the place. So, to that mom and these moms, I just say my heart truly goes out to you, and that I'm praying for you. Melvin's mission is praying for you. We're here to support you. Our number's up there. Anytime you want, give me a call. Whatever it is, if I can do it, it's done. It's just so sad. It's sad because this stuff is not getting any better. It's getting worse. And as you all know, that the statistics of homicide went down in the inner city last year. But look at this year, how we're starting out. I believe, have we had 3 murders already and a couple of injured people from, again, guns? Where are the guns coming from? Who's supplying these guns, first of all, to these young people? 12-year-old with gun, 18-year-olds with gun, 20 and 22-year-olds with guns. They're getting these guns from somewhere. There's a grown man or woman somewhere that has a whole bunch of guns and ammunition, and you're selling them to kids. And you need to be caught, and they need to not only put you in jail, but they need to prosecute you for every single homicide that took place with those guns that you gave to those babies. It's wrong. You need to be put under the jailhouse. Not in it, but under it. It's sad. Yeah. What are you saying? Oh, she's upset. She's mad. You're doggone right I am. You know why I'm mad? Because in 1996, Melvin Bernard Franklin, husband, father, friend to so many, coming home from work, minding his business, and you gave or sold a gun to a young person, and they killed my husband. They killed my children's father. They killed our future. So I'm angry, I'm mad, and I'm upset. And this is what it's going to take for something to be done, for something to happen, because I think what has happened is a lot of us are just sitting around like, it's not going to change. Did you hear? There was another murder. Ooh, guess what? Did you hear about in Roxbury? There was a shootout. 3 people got killed, da-da-da-da-da. Ooh, did you hear about there was a robbery and the kid had a gun and he shot somebody in the head, execution style? Yeah, I'm talking like this. I'm bringing all this stuff up because you know why? It's reality. Yes, it is. It's reality. And we're sitting around acting like this is the norm. This is not the norm. You and I have a responsibility as human beings to help people, to make changes that will benefit my children, my grandchildren, their children, your grandchildren, and their children. Because what benefits me benefits you, and what benefits you benefits me. It's sad that we've sat back and we won't get involved. We're too afraid to get involved. And because of that, a lot of us can I'm going to be as bold and say this, and you aren't going to like what I'm getting ready to say, but guess what? I don't care, because it ain't about that no more. It's about these people, these babies are dying. It's about people that died years and years and years and years ago from homicide, street murders, and it's consistent, and it keeps happening. This is what I was going to say that you're not going to like. We need to take a responsibility to the extent where every time there's a homicide on our streets, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, guess what? We need to take some of the blame. Yeah, I know you don't like that because you're saying to yourself, I don't have nothing to do with that. That ain't my son. That ain't my nephew. Them ain't my people. That's down the street from me. But guess what? Those are your neighbors. Those are human beings, and you have young people, and you have people in your family. This could be you. Listen to me, you guys. Never think that homicide can't affect you. And I think that's what the problem is. I think so many people are sitting up going, well, it didn't affect my family. It didn't affect me. Why should I get involved? I thought the same thing. Can I tell you how ignorant I was to homicide? Before Melvin got murdered, I didn't even know what homicide was. Honest to God. I know you don't believe it, but it's the truth. I never knew anyone that got murdered. I never knew anyone that got murdered on the street. I mean, I watched it on TV, stuff like that. Never. And because of that ignorance, because I sat around and I didn't do anything, look what happened to me. I said, this would never happen to my family. And look at me. Here I am. Melvin's mission. So I say that to say this. Community, wake up. We are responsible to an extent. Yes, we are. For these babies that are being killed, for these folks that already been killed years and years ago, and the system still isn't doing anything but putting a Band-Aid on it, making up all these fake programs that aren't doing anything. I'm talking about really getting involved. Neighborhoods coming together. Back in the old days, walking the streets. Back in the old days when you'd see somebody's mom and you put the cigarette behind your back, or if you were cussing, you go, uh-oh, Miss so-and-so's up there. Be quiet. We don't want her to hear, da-da-da-da-da. Because back then there was respect. Back then you got involved, and we've lost that. We've lost getting involved. We've lost the love. So here we are, a 13-year-old lying up in the hospital right now. Here we are, a double murder. 2 young men. It ain't right. And one of the young men had a beautiful little baby girl. This child will never get to see her father. This man will never hold his baby. What do we do? What do we as a community do? Survivors, what do we do? We have to yell on top of the roof, women, I'm tired. I don't want it anymore. What are we going to do we can't stop homicide? I understand that. We'll never stop it. But listen, if we can curb it, if we can put a dent in it, so instead of 58 homicides every year in the inner city of Massachusetts, if we can, 50, 40? We've done something. Those are 13 lives that are saved. Those are 13 and more women who will not become who we are, women survivors of homicide. We've got to fix this. We've got to get involved. Please, ladies, I'm asking you. Hopefully, later on, once we're out there, we're known, we're a category of women, we can get services to even do more for all these youth that are just walking the streets with no jobs. We can do more for some of these adults who don't have jobs. We could help out in some way by creating services for these people so they don't have to walk the street and get guns and sell drugs and be fearful. We need to get involved.